Hola, me llamo Rashid, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a Polo Reef.
El día de hoy estamos de visita en el acuario privado más hermoso del mundo y en compañía de Rashid vamos a conocer las impresionantes instalaciones de este maravilloso tanque de más de 64,000 litros. Así que por favor acompáñenme a disfrutar de este maravilloso tour en Polo Reef.
¿Qué tal amigos? ¿Cómo están todos ustedes? Bienvenidos a Polo Reef. Estamos en Nueva York grabando este increíble acuario. Rashid es el encargado de mantenerlo y me hizo la amable invitación para estar aquí, y pues en lo que a mí respecta es el acuario privado más impresionante del mundo. Rashid, thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can you explain something about this beautiful tank?
Absolutely. So just a couple of high-level information. It's a 17,000 gallon tank. The first fish went in 2019. We recently started adding coral about a year ago. One of the things that's important to know about this coral and why it's thriving, and not only is it thriving, but it's thriving if you notice some of the fish are not quote-unquote reef safe. It's because a lot of these corals came literally from local reefers here in New York, some from Jersey, Maryland, up to Boston. But we decided, Andrew and I, to really focus on supporting the local reefers by buying, tank breakdowns, or if people wanted to have a little less corals and have smaller, larger colonies, we would buy off of them. But they made the trip up really well. The dimensions of the tank, yes. 16 by 16 by 16 by 9. There's a lot of flow in the tank. I myself actually dive in the tank, and when you're in there, you could feel the flow all over the place. So we wanted to make sure that we focused on the three most important things when we're bringing corals into the tank, which is flow, lighting, and water chemistry. What Andrew did when he built this out was he used top of the line everything. And you'll see when we go into sub basement, he had top of the line lighting, he had top of the line flow. And from a water chemistry right now, we're sending all our stuff to ICP and just understanding the bromine and bulimidine and all these other trace elements that we need to track.
This is the most amazing collection of tanks.
A lot of these fish, are from the Indo-Pacific Ocean, and Andrew wanted that way, and he focused in on them. Andrew was lucky enough to actually get some of the rare yellow tangs that are no longer around. He's able to acquire some of those back in late 2019 and 2020, and they're just all super healthy, And in addition to the fish, you'll see that there's like high-end acros here, like Walt Disney's large colonies, home wreckers. There's beautiful bicolored Montes here.
What do you do to maintain the levels? Nitrates, phosphates?
We use a local company, Bob Stark's ESV Salt. So we have Yeltsin who mixes the salt water. And like I mentioned, we do ICP testing to understand, how do we need to add a little more magnesium or this element or that trace element. So we test. Some time ago, Andrew actually bought a huge, very expensive ICP machine, and we were going to dedicate a section of the lab for it.
So you will have your own machine?
That's not working out that well because of COVID and, just the shipping issues and things of that sort. We're missing some pieces. So right now we're just going with weekly ICP testing that Andrew and Jonathan will go through. Do you want me to show you the 200-gallon tank before we go down?
Yeah, I will follow you.
Okay. This is the infamous 200-gallon tank.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
We did a good amount of work here. There's, pretty rare. That's an anthias, deep water Hawaiian anthias. There's some other angels in here. There's some really nice showstoppers like this Acanthophilia, this meat coral is what I like to call them. We got your Jason Fox Raja Rampage. You have your Orange Passion, just all kinds of
golden torches.
Yeah, all kinds of acros. It's pretty much a nice mixed reef tank. You'll see several nice torches. There's the Holy Grails. This one here specifically is the 24K Coral Cruise Holy Grail torch. So that's doing really well. But that's pretty much it. We have some euphyllias packed in, and I worked with Yeltsin to redo the aquascape.
I saw the video when you did this.
Yeah. So Oh, so this is actually a little bit of my creation. So
Yes.
I'm not a fan of these, like maybe you can get away with it with the meat coral because they're so large and they hover. But with scullies, if they're not large or, like really bright, they get lost in the sand.
Yes.
So I was like, why not put them on a rock so they're slightly angled towards us? So like even if you're sitting far away from the tank, you still can kind of enjoy them. That was
And they look
thought.
amazing.
So just so you know how I put it together, I buy Real Reef.
Real Reef.
Yeah, so I use that, and I like that because the branches come out, and I just take each branch, put a little epoxy, and make it flat. So then all I do is little bit epoxy and glue, and plop it on each platform.
And you choose to have bare bottom.
Yes, bare bottom, easy maintenance. Maintenance has to be easy because we're maintaining a lot, and you'll see in the back here.
Okay.
One of the things, Pepe, is you'll see Polo Reef. This is our little studio.
Okay.
We're going to do a lot more lives, Q&As with Andrew, so you understand how he quarantines his fish, how we're quarantining the coral. But this is our little studio. It's not that bad of a desk, I guess, looking at this thing.
Yeah.
We have our lighting when we do one-on-ones with Andrew. The production is just, it's going to get better and better because, we think we owe our fans that. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do some pretty cool giveaways that are coming up soon and stuff like that. So that's where all this happens.
Okay.
So this is sorry about that. This is the bottle. This thing was full in the morning that Yeltsin prepares. He'll put a whole bunch of food in there, mysis and aminos and things of that sort. This whole thing will usually be full. And we go through this, and this is only for the main display. There's a couple of other bottles that we'll focus in on. And then some of the food that we use is, your regular Omega, Angel, brine shrimp. We mix reef forage for some of the coral stuff, the reef frenzy. And there's a lot of food that's mixed up every single day. There's a lot going on here, just so you can check that out. I think you guys might be the first that checked out the fridge, so that's special. This right here is just
amazing, man.
Well, I mean, look at the tank.
Look
The tank
how
is
many
like
bouncing corals there.
one of my fun things to do is like build stuff and put corals on it.
Yeah.
So this was the same thing. So I found this rock that looked like a little tree. So I just put a base in there, and then I just put a whole bunch of OG bounces in there, and it just looks like it's kind of hovering through. Here you have your Frankenstein mushroom. You have your some chalices, zoas. People will sit there and debate for hours in some of these, podcasts and stuff like that about what different trace elements and stuff, but just water changes.
Sometimes
you might put some reef forage there once in a while.
The easiest way is the simplicity.
Well, that's what the old school reefers will always preach. The folks that were my mentors and I kind of followed, right?
Yeah.
So let me take you guys back here. Here you have essentially 6 baffles. Each baffle, whenever we would get a breakdown, we would number it and put a date on it. Initially our main concern was not bringing in corals that had large rocks and potentially, ick or trophons or any kind of disease that could be passed on to the tank. That was Andrew's main concern. But now we're going to change our processes up where we look at them, we dip them. If anything's not doing well, it goes back through the cycle, about a 6 to 8 week cycle. We're continuing to improve the process as time goes on. But now there isn't just a focus of the fish not getting sick, but it's also not bringing in any bad pests.
Yeah.
Mainly you're worried about, Aptasia in the tank. You're worried about, your nudibranchs, your bugs, your flatworms and stuff like that.
Yes.
You asked about the dosing earlier. That's where the dosing, we're using Moonshiner right now. And you'll see there's specific
all the elements.
Zinc, iron, cobalt, chromium,
nickel.
boron. So we'll go ahead and we send 2 ICP tests and a Triton test and continue to just follow that.
How many gallons do you change at the biggest?
Yeah, we do about 5,000 gallons weekly.
Weekly?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a lot of water.
Yeah.
It's a lot of salt. So we'll show you guys the boiler room. But,
wow, it's hot here.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Yeah.
This is what keeps the water at a perfect temperature from a heating standpoint. I don't know the numbers. I'll confirm with Andrew, but I think it could do 10,000 gallons in like 2 or 3 minutes. It could heat it up like 10 or 20 degrees.
Okay.
So I have to confirm that number with him, but let's just say it's very powerful. We'll go back to the quarantine.
That's huge, man.
Yes. And through that corner and just go top down, you'll get a better shot. On the right is a sand filter. Okay, then over here on the left you have a calcium reactor.
This is the biggest calcium reactor that I have ever
Yeah, this
seen.
is it right here.
Yeah.
But these are 2 large MRC skimmers. Yeltsin will clean these skimmers out thoroughly once a day. We have a powerful hose that's amazing. Let me show you something. This is what we clean the skimmers with. Every reefer wants this in their kitchen. You ready for this?
Okay.
Here you go. Yeah, so, whoa.
Wow, I love the
You okay?
pressure.
Sorry about that. This is what cleans the protein skimmer. This really helps our job. I think it's a lot more powerful. But anyway, I just think that's cool. These are two huge backup power generators that we have here.
Wow.
One for the house, one can run the system. This is some rock that we took out of the 300 that had some aptasia in it, so we took it out, we power washed the whole thing.
So whatever that happens, this will save everything there.
Of course. This is where we change water. So one of the things, I'll show it to you guys. Just be careful though.
Yeah.
Whoops. This
Yes.
is the top of a big, you know those vats, the 50-gallon vats? 10,000 gallons of water if you're ready. Okay?
Wow.
That's where all the salt water gets mixed up.
That's deep.
You have one for salt water, and you have one for RODIs right beside it, and you'll see it once we go downstairs. So this is one of our quarantines. We have a lot of LPS in here. And here to the right is we have all the fish quarantine. Now Andrew, over the years, has become very proficient in his quarantine process. He has people from all over the world that'll ask him questions on how to quarantine. He'll know a fish and be able to take a look at it, and you want to shoot these,
Look at
these tanks. I mean, one of them, I think these tanks might end up in the 2,500 gallon tank up top. My buddy Frank from Worldwide Coral, I sent him a video of this. I was like, maybe this might be the next Casper.
Yeah.
Because it looks so amazing. But Andrew knows the process down to a T, how to treat these fish if they're sick. But he takes them through a very, very serious regimen.
Yes.
To make sure that nothing goes in the main display tank until they're absolutely, absolutely ready.
This one.
That's an amazing townfish right there.
Yeah.
And those are pretty hard to keep,
I know.
but if you quarantine them properly, they're not too bad. So I'm gonna come right behind you here. This is the second half of the fish quarantine. And then here, these guys are the start. These actually were my clownfish. I brought it to Andrew not too long ago, so I'm happy they found a home here. But we just have a variety of clams in its tank along with the mangroves. So this tank is still a working process, guys. To me, it's a little overcrowded. We just have some really nice corals in here. Some of these will end up in a 2,500 gallon tank. You got some nice Euphilia, torches, some nice SBS. We have a little bit of a bubble issue that we're working on currently. This logo is one of my favorite right here.
Oh,
Australian logo.
Beautiful.
If you look right behind you, all this stuff is operated by that computer.
Yeah.
And essentially tells us the water level, the sumps, the pressure through all the machines throughout the system. And you'll see, the first time I came here, the concept is not very different. You got a tank upstairs, you got water flowing through the sumps, it'll go through filtrations. The only difference is everything is like commercial scale, it's really large. This is another sump where we have a lot of the water that flows through it. We got some live rock here and some filter socks. I mean, a lot of the concepts are not different from what regular hobbies do. Once again, it's just a lot of plumbing and a lot of thought behind it. So the 200 and the 100 gallon tanks are run off this plumbing right here.
Okay.
This sump right here is what controls the 17,000 gallon tank.
Okay.
There's two other tanks that are interconnected with the 17,000 gallon tank. It's the 300 gallon tank that you saw upstairs, and it's also the clam tank. Those three tanks are interconnected. The smaller tanks, the 200 and the 150 in the office, are connected through that sump over there.
Yeah.
There's another sump on the other side of this. That's what's going to control the 2,500 gallon tank. And it's pretty straightforward. You got to run through this. You got to run through these nets here with some live rock.
Yeah.
You try to add as much baffle as you can to reduce the bubbles if possible. Yes. But these are the pumps that are pumping this thing back up. So if you want to come over here, This is the sump for the 2500. Right now we're just using it as extra reservoir water because the 2500 hasn't been plumbed and the computer's not ready to go. And you guys will see it upstairs. It has live rock in there. That's just cooking, but we're going to set it up pretty soon. Probably like in the fall. All this will be documented on the channel, so make sure you subscribe, like, and share it. Exactly. We'll go upstairs to the office.
So what are we looking here, Rachid?
Okay, so here we got the, it's a 150-gallon tank. I'll be honest with you guys, the corals are an afterthought compared to these amazing fish. These are the personatas. Some people call them the masked angelfish. They're amazing. They got a great personality. You'll see that there's a couple of adults in the main display. If you want to get some close-ups, I mean, this is some of the most amazing bounces I've seen. And we got lucky where, you know, the angels are not nipping on them too much, but we also do feed this tank really well. So yeah, and one thing with people who have some of these quote-unquote non-reef safe fish, even though some people would say these are, you're going to have certain corals that are always going to be the canary in the coal mine where they're going to struggle. And obviously in this tank, it's the meat corals, because I feel like they definitely nip on those, but we're okay with that as long as they stay away from the bounces and some, you know, the torches and some of these other things happening here. But this tank is, you know, this tank, I mean, you might have seen this, but we re-aquascaped this where we have 2 islands and just, you know, got the whole mixed reef thing going on here.
Those bouncing coral and these fish they look amazing.
Yeah, we try to create some depth with the aquascape so that you could see like a lot of overhangs with the SPS, and then you also see the bouncer here in front of you, some torches so that you get a little movement, because, you know, when you don't have any movement, sometimes I feel like the tank is a little boring in my opinion. But you have everything. You have everything from the Space Invader, you know, some nice toxic green.
I can see signs
Yeah.
of the good amount of food that comes into this tank because
with
of the algae.
a little bit of algae. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And let's show you guys behind you.
And that's
What I keep telling Andrew is this is going to be something ridiculous, just because with the team that Andrew has
this
here.
is going to be something ridiculous. The one.
Well, the reason is because, like, if you think about the kind of like very rare fish that Andrew's collected,
oh my God,
that's going to be the same thing, and that's what we've been stocking up.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, you see that goes down. So there's all that is Australian rock that's getting cured there. It's all white because it has no light, so no algae.
Yeah.
It came in really dirty. It smelled pretty bad here for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Not even days.
It's cooking, right?
But the rock is cooking right now. We have a huge skimmer in there just to keep everything pulled out. But this tank is going to be something to subscribe, like,
exactly,
and share with the Polo Reef channel, because you don't want to miss the videos that are about to come up.
No, the process,
You know,
of
we're
this
documenting
will be
everything.
amazing.
Oh yeah, we have some amazing stuff that's going to end up here. We're going to work on the aquascape very soon. We're just waiting for the computer to get it back up and running so that it runs with the sump that I showed you downstairs, and that's it. We're ready to go.
You're going to have corals here too.
Yes, and not all reef safe fish.
Okay.
So because of that, that's why I say it's going to be amazing. And we're going to get a chance to play with torches now and clams, and see like a huge clam in one area, and then like ganies. It's just going to be a flowy reef all over the place.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Perfect. So practically the house was built around the
I don't know all the details because I wasn't around when they did this, but from what Andrew tells me is they had to extend the house in order to fit all the lab, and I think you know where the quarantine tanks were, that part wasn't there, so they had to extend it, just redig up the land. It's pretty interesting. I'm gonna have a video that comes out that actually will walk through all those details of how that construction happened.
and for that people have to
Subscribe, like, and share.
Exactly.
Polo Reef by Andrew Sandler. Amigos, muchas gracias por acompañarnos.
Exactly. Muchas gracias a ti.
Thanks, man.
Rachid,
Thank you for coming by, man.
gracias por la invitación.
Sí.
It's amazing here. It's like a dream came true being here, and I hope it's not the last time.
No, I hope so too. We'll collaborate. We'll get some more stuff,
Exactly.
videos to you.
Amigos, muchísimas gracias como siempre por ver mis videos, darle like, suscribirte. Yo soy Pepe Naker, él es Rachid de Polo Reef y nos estaremos viendo pronto.
Andrew Sandler.
Y Andrew Sandler, yeah,
Sí.
very important.
He's the
Andrew
guy.
Sandler.
He's the man.
guy.
I'm just walking you through his.
I know. Thank you very much. Gracias a todos y nos estaremos viendo pronto, muy pronto, en un próximo video. Bye.